Is let's see. You look familiar. Bill. Oh, okay.
Come
the
in,
new superintendent.
You what?
You're the new superintendent, right?
Get the words out? No, I'm going to be. I'm not the new one. I'm going to be.
Well, I had quite an ordeal for the last, about a month. Nobody's in down here in social services? They all?
Gone.
Okay. Well,
They all quit.
really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like, I know you were on a case. I talked to Fernanda about 2 Fridays ago. I want to say last Friday. So much been going on, but
Here. I'll move this stuff.
they called me. Said everything was unsubstantiated. There wasn't enough there to prosecute, charge anybody. There wasn't. They didn't know where the files were. Actually, they had lost the files.
How could they have lost a file?
And so I asked Fernanda, how could it be unsubstantiated? How could you make a ruling on something that you probably never even viewed? So I come up last Friday, talked to her again. Before the end of our meeting, they found the files.
Did they? Okay.
And she was like, oh, it does say supervised visits. I'm sorry. Because what they wanted me to do was initially just go back to the old court order.
But you have to, unless they have gone through with everything to the court to get them supervised.
Yeah.
If they haven't petitioned court, you have to give those kids up until they petition the court.
Okay. And see, I talked to Billy Dean. I petitioned the court. It's probably well over a month and a half now.
The social services will have to petition that court if they want to do that.
Okay.
See, but if there's no petition there to have that thing, the supervised visit, and so you're still operating under the original thing that says you have to give the kids up.
Okay.
See?
And I said, see, I went to Billy Dean, and I'm like, after the physical abuse of these children, after all that's gone on, everything that I turned over in a file for the past 2 years, I brought documents up here, medical documents from the drug pen incident, the scabies, the physical abuse. I said, what are we going to do? And he kept saying, well, it's up to social services. Until they send me something in writing,
Okay.
then I'm not going to hold anybody to this court order. He said, because I've read what you submitted, he said. And I'm like, well, and in the last court case, and it was Billy Dean then, I said, okay, well, you want to give her a chance? Fine, we'll give her a chance. What happens if this occurs again? He said, then it's all stopped. He said, there'll be supervised visitation, no questions asked.
The judge said that?
He said that right in the court order. I mean, right in the courtroom. Because she was sitting June 3rd. Yeah. And she was sitting right there, and he goes, do you understand, Miss Redday? And she goes, yes, Your Honor. Okay. So as soon as this happened, it's like, she's fighting supervised visitation. Does not want anything. That's what Fernanda said. She doesn't want anything to do with it. But you just told the judge, you understood what he just told you. Well, all of a sudden, it's like, no.
Well, here's the thing I want to tell you. Until there is a petition to have that done, and the court it's a legal order writ, you're going to have to operate under that one. If it says you give them up, you have to give them up.
No matter what kind of abuse they've been put through.
Well, again, that would be up to you. If there's no, if there's, you'll have.
I never had a problem with it, but when this stuff started to progress, and it's almost like she's going around saying, "What are you going to do?" That's a court order. What are you going to do? I could do whatever I want. What are you going to do? And then you go down there, and they'll be like, "Well, everything stays the same." It's like, really, people? I mean, how many kids have we lost on this reservation? At some point in time, somebody's going to say, you know what, there's a trend going on here. Maybe if we take a little different approach to things might start to change. Instead of, and we were sitting at Dairy Queen one day, and a lady comes over, and she comes and waits on our table. And I know her from because she's Native American out here. And I said, you used to have long hair. I said, you chopped it off. I said, do you ever miss it? Oh, every day. She said, I'm growing it back, though. Well, she walks away, and my 5-year-old daughter decides to say, Dad, does she buy pills for my mom? I'm like, what? Does she buy pills for my mom? I don't know. I was like, where did you hear that at? I said, did you see her before? I think I did. And then she proceeded to say, what exactly did she say? She said, I said, did you see your mom doing something like that? Never like try to leading questions. And she was like, she used to chop little white lines, take a straw that she got from the casino, and suck it up through her nose. Her and her friend Chastity. And I didn't say anything after that. I was just like, oh, okay.
Again, it goes back, that's a very serious thing. You have to be able to substantiate everything that's being said. What she says and she saw, I'm not saying she didn't or she did not. But, if she did, then that's a serious thing. And these are things that the court should, and all. But we've got to have something that shows her to be doing that. We don't act on.
Well, I turned over a lot of Facebook documents.
Right. That to me, that indicated there may have been some there. See, to me, that's an indication. But there's nothing to substantiate that she's actually done that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't take pictures because if I get even.
But being a police officer, you cannot act on anything except factual evidence. Always keep in mind when you come to this place, that's what we're going to work on is factual evidence. We cannot go on anything that's, unless if it's circumstantial and it can show a result or some sort. But there has to be something physical, concrete in that circumstantial evidence and stuff. But we're not going to do anything unless we have the facts and it's
well, as a law enforcement officer for 16 years, I don't think there is many drug users out there that get so careless.
See, that's the point.
That says I'm just going to start doing this out in public where everybody sees me.
So what it becomes you and versus me.
Yeah.
And that's what y'all are doing now. It's you saying this, she's saying this, you saying this, and she's saying this. Some point, Laverne, it's going to have to stop, and the kids are going to have to. Don't bring the kids in it.
Yeah.
It seems to me like you're bringing kids in. She's bringing the kids in it too. See.
Well,
you all are adults.
Yeah, and the only thing I explained this to the police department. All I'm doing is protecting the kids. If I didn't care about them, she would probably have them, and I would just pay child support. I wouldn't care what environment that they're in or whatever. But
see, that's what good parents do. They look after their kids and all.
And see, after seeing this and being in law enforcement, it's like this ain't getting any better. Mm-hmm. What's gonna happen next? You start to be proactive instead of reactive. Every time she brought him back with scabies the first time, I had it medically documented. Didn't quit the visitation. Let her have him again. Came back with scabies again. It's like, okay, at what point this is going to stop? I don't know about, her continuously. Like I said, I talked to Billy Dean, and he says I'm not gonna hold anybody to that court order. I'm sorry. He said I read the things and. He said, if I hold her to that court order, where does that put me? Mm-hmm. As far as, throwing them back into the fire or something happens and they're going to say, well, what the judge said, it was okay. He said, I'm not going to get... So now I'm stuck. Now the lieutenant calls me and she's down here complaining. Mm-hmm. I talked to Amber at the safe house. I did all that I can do because I actually met with Amber again. I said, what more can I do to set this up? Nothing. She said, it's up to Fran to walk through our door and say, okay, I'm ready to. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't want to. And even though the judge said, do you understand? This is what's going to happen. What happens? We go down there and he tells her to do it. She's going to throw a fit and we're going to give her another chance, yet another chance. And the fear that I seen in the kids when they came back on July 9th, and it took several weeks after for it to just kind of subside. My son, my 3-year-old, if he made a movement like this, we were actually here talking to Jesse and he slid under that chair. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why would you? And Rayleigh talks about how the old guy had him up and was by his feet and he was screaming and I said, was he having fun? She goes, no, he was crying. Okay, well, the other part is not only the fear, but my daughter disclosing stuff. We went to Walmart and she goes, Dad, I'm glad I don't have to be afraid anymore. Just out of the blue, because we just came back from Grand Forks. Bought a water dispensing machine. I was looking for water jugs, so I decided to stop at the new Walmart there. And I was like, scared of what? Well, Daddy, I used to have to fake to go to sleep so that my mom wouldn't hit me. Okay. But I never questioned them. Okay, that you just made a statement, you know. And I'm like, well, you don't have to worry anymore. My thing after stepping back for so many weeks and all this is transpiring, notice that she's opening up a lot more because that fear factor ain't there anymore of Mom grilling them and telling them, you're not going to tell your dad what goes on here. She's not afraid anymore. And we look at the dysfunction with the kids in the community today, it's because we allow that to continue on. At some point, it's like, if I keep my kids with her and she's doing these things in front of my kids, I'm going to be dealing with a 14-year-old who's going to be delinquent, running off and thinking, hey, that's okay, because guess what? My mom does it.
Lord, I'm going to have to go to, in fact, I'm 15 minutes late for me, but one thing I can say is if we didn't petition that court yet, that was only a recommendation that was made. So it should have gone through the court. It was not the court. In my opinion, then unless I'm overruled by Fernanda or someone else, that court order still stands. You know, she can still have the kids.
Okay.
But if in order for it to be supervised, and I would feel safe in going through the court and having a petition to put into record. See.
Yeah.
Even though the judge did say that, you know, I respect the judge. I think that, you know, he's fair and all of that. So, in order to protect the children and protect you too, and all parents, you know, again, you just have to kind of keep an eye. But I go back to what I said. Unless you can see and you have absolute proof, that's the only thing that's going to stand up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's going to stand up.
Because I have witnesses, but no pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got phone numbers. I got people that a lot of people have come forward. Mm-hmm. And I think I told Fernanda this. If 9 out of 10 people came out from outside and said the car that was parked in front of the building's yellow, then maybe it's yellow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if 9 out of 10 people come to me and say this is what she's really up to.
Yeah, but they come back, but how come they don't go to the police and say, yeah, that's yellow pit car? Do you see what I'm saying?
A lot of people, reservations are like that, especially this one.
In this place, they need to go to the people that can make those. Coming to you and you bring those forward, that's secondhand information.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Think as a police officer when you get this stuff here. What's admissible in court and what's not admissible.
Yeah.
Disregard everything else until you come with something that you can hold and then say, yes, that is substantial, and we can go with that. Because that's how I operate. We deal with facts. We deal with true facts. No suppositions. Facts that can be proven, can be examined, and say, yes, this is the way it is.
Yeah, because it's some of the things that they tell me is kind of scary. It actually scares me. I mean, the guns in the home, the guns in the guy's car, and it's like if I really keep pressing this issue, am I gonna wind up in a dumpster because they you know,
everybody has a right to have guns. Just because a gun is in the house doesn't mean it's a safety issue. If the gun is maintained away from the kids, if you take her to court and you say, look, I've heard evidence or rumors that you have guns. My kids are coming. You be sure you lock those guns up. You know,
and I don't mind if it's locked up. Everybody has guns.
That's what you have to do. That's what I'm saying. You know, guns are a part, just a natural part of everyday life.
You know.
But make sure they're held responsible and they're locked up. See?
And like the gun in the car that's underneath the seat, that's not really a safe place for...
That's not a safe place either. Again, is there proof that it's there?
Oh, I could probably walk up and find it under the... But the first thing they're going to say, oh, he's stalking me, he's harassing me, he's a cop, you know.
To me, you would be stalking and harassing.
But if I was uniform and I was looking for the safety...
probable cause to do that, see. You don't operate outside your legal responsibility,
Yeah.
legal rights.
Yeah. Yeah, because if a kid comes up and said they just pointed a gun at me, they try, I'd walk up to the person, you know, and say, hey, you don't mind if I search the vehicle? Because right away they go, I don't have one. I don't, you know, if you don't look, you'll never find it.
Right.
You know, and I don't go out looking for stuff on this woman. Like I said, a lot of people come to me, and it's like I could care.
Don't come to me. Go to the social services. That's, you know, let them come here. Don't let them come to you. Because, you know, it's getting to the point right now where it seems like you just finding stuff here, pulling here, stuff like that. But get facts and don't be appearing that you're just doing this and adding to it, okay? I would tell the friend the same thing. You guys are going to have to stop this. It's like you're just punching it out.
And like my witness, who I brought the stuff in, she was like, here's my Facebook password. Go in there, get that stuff.
To me, that stuff in there, to me, it indicated there was something going on. But for me to say, yes, there is, I can't say that is, but there was evidence that there was some attempt to procure something. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But was it ever procured? No. And again, these are things that we can't prove. And the same thing with you. As a police officer, before you even do something, think and say what is admissible and what is not. And who are the witnesses? Are the witnesses credible?
Yeah. Well, the bad thing was the witness who...
Oh, I hate to rush you off, but I'm going to have to go into town here, too.
Okay.
I already took 15 minutes.
All right.
But please, you know, understand that. As long as we haven't petitioned that, in my opinion, you're still under the court order.
Okay. Well, I'll run down there now and just talk to them real briefly and see what I need to do.
Okay. That was probably the best way to do it, Don.
Okay.
All right, man. Good luck.
Yep.
What's your name?
His name's Bill Mckie.